Yes guys, hope you're all doing well, the YouTube gang and all that, enjoying the weekly breakdown video that I did yesterday. Obviously I asked some of you guys to put some comments down below on what videos I should talk about or what topics I should talk about in the next video, because when it comes to education wise, once you've kind of taught everything that you know, most of what you will then do will just be samey. Like I could redo like the original videos, but to me I don't really like recycling content, because the reason why I did the video in the first place was because that was fresh in my mind. But there will be obviously other things that perhaps I come along and learn further down the line that I might feel like I can give to you guys as education and you can learn from it as well. But I feel like majority of the stuff that you will need to learn and will be the hardest thing to learn is not actually the chart work stuff. Nothing chart work related is hard to learn, because it's robotic. You just do it over and over again. You start to recognize things in the market that you've seen previously, and working out the sessions, all that sort of stuff. But the actual hardest thing to learn is the psychology part. Okay, the risk management factor, the emotional factor, all those different things are the hardest to learn, because they're based on how you feel day to day as well. If you are having a bad day, that is probably going to play out in the way that you see the markets, or the way you're trading, or the way that you're dealing with drawdown, whatever it might be, whatever the case. Those things will be the hardest things for you to learn. But there's other topics, like I think the most commented comment is about how to spend your trading profits. Now, I've said this time and time again in quite a few of the videos, that none of you want to be looking to be in this 24/7 for the rest of your life. End of. Like, you want to be making your money out of this and putting it into something more secure. Now, obviously, I've got a different perspective because I'm in a different country to you guys. That majority of you will be in the UK. Some are US, some are Canadian, I think, as well. Maybe a few European countries, whatever the case. Everyone's gonna know what kind of economy they live in, and how people's living costs and stuff differ. Obviously, I'm in Dubai, so Dubai stuff is a lot different to what the UK is. Especially, I've only got the UK to go by because that's where I spent a good 34 years of my life. But now being in Dubai, I can learn about what the economy is like over here, what's good to invest in, all this, that and the other. Now, from day one, property has always been a very safe option in my eyes. So building money up from your trading and putting it aside to invest into things like property is going to be a safer option than what this will be. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, this should be looked at like any other job to make money. Obviously, this can make you a lot more money than what a normal 9 to 5 would be, working at McDonald's or whatever it might be. This is going to make you more money, but it can also lose you that money as well if you're being an idiot. But this should be looked at as making you a decent amount of money to be able to invest into other things. Now, obviously, there's a lot of other side hustles out there that you can be doing. Things that you can learn for free on YouTube, or if you're in the elite group, you can learn about it in there. There's watch trading, there's FBA, Amazon FBA, e-commerce, Shopify. There's all these different multiple sources of income. And I had this conversation with my fiance's sister. She's lacking in work when it comes to doing stuff over here. She's a nail technician. If people aren't looking to get their nails done, then she's got a lot of free time. And I tried explaining to her in regards to this, she invested into the algorithm, so she's involved in the actual market side of stuff. But if she's got all this time, then yeah, you can find something that's within your industry, i.e. whatever nails and stuff like that falls under. There can be other things that you could be doing in that industry, but then there's also a lot of online sources. I feel like most women, they know more about trends when it comes to how girls look and what products girls use, makeup, all that sort of stuff, and you can source that shit pretty cheaply from here or you know, places like China, wherever, and set up an Amazon FBA. And, you know, it only takes a little bit, you know, you could do it over a weekend, looking at, you know, setting up a shop, how, you know, what sort of things you've got to give, documents, blah, blah, blah. I know some of them over here, you have to have like an actual business. So yes, you would need to invest a bit of money into setting up a business, but you've got to look at it as that, as an investment, you know, setting up a business as an investment to then make you more money on the side. And obviously those products are never actually coming by you anyway. You're sourcing them from somewhere and you're sourcing the clients. You are basically making the connection and you are making money off of it. That's Amazon FBA. I might be well off. You know, I'm sure there's a few Amazon FBA or e-commerce guys that would be able to, or Shopify guys that would be able to say, oh no, it's not as easy as that. But that in my eyes is the gist. Do you know what I mean? So when it comes to actually spending profits that you've made in the market, never have I ever said, don't enjoy the money that you make from this, because at the end of the day, it's something that you didn't have before starting this. So yes, you know, I've said about it when it comes to like, oh, you know, guys going to Ibiza and spending their trading profits. You can do that, okay? No one's telling you not to do that, but I'm an older head. You know, I'm going to be 37 this year, I think. Yeah, 37 this year. So in my head, all that kind of Ibiza, Iron Apple, all those sort of like lads holidays where you spend way too much dough and by the end of it, you pretty much need another holiday. That to me is a dead investment, okay? Dead investments, and you are just effectively pissing that money up the wall. And I've said that in regards to nights out just in your local town. So yes, you can do that if you get enjoyment out of it, okay? But it's not an investment. Cars to me as well are not investments. They're a little bit different if you're trying to grow a brand, because obviously you need to show off the type of money that you are making to then make more money, i.e. get more people involved, because majority of the people that are getting into trading, they're visual people. You know, they like to see what the type of money you can make and what it can buy you. But it's dead investments. Do you know what I mean? I was financing a car and realistically I was using it maybe once or twice a month. So to me, I actually stopped because it's a dead investment. I looked at what my day-to-day life was over the course of, you know, a monthly basis, and I wasn't using a car. Do you know what I mean? I live in Marina, so everything that I need is within walking distance. Or I'm quite happy to just go and, you know, rent an electric scooter from, they're all over the place in Dubai. You can just go and tap the phone, boom, you've got an electric scooter, and just fly around on one of those, because it don't cost anything. It costs peanuts. Do you know what I mean? And the only like far place that I need to go is to my gym that is on the other side of Marina. It takes about 15-20 minutes on a scooter to get there. But I do it with my missus. My missus is on the back. We're talking. We're going through Marina, having a chat and looking at people, dodging people, blah blah blah. And that's about it. That's about all the transport that I need. You know, in regards to going anywhere else, like a taxi ride is cheaper than what you would be paying for a car. If you're buying it outright, fair enough, but still, you've just gone and wasted 400-500k dirham on a car that you're not even using. So that to me again made me realize that once I'd kind of rented a few nice cars, because that's what everyone does when they first come over here, they rent a Lambo, they rent this, they rent that. Once you've had that enjoyment out of driving around, you know, flexing a bit, people looking at the car and stuff, the novelty wears off. Do you know what I mean? There's only so many times you can drive around JBR and, you know, try to impress a few girls that have all seen it before. Do you know what I mean? You are not the first person to be driving through JBR in a Lamborghini Huracan or whatever with the top down and music blazing. Like, you've got to remember that females nowadays, they're not impressed by that. Especially in a country where they know 90% of people rent the car in the first place. So they know it's not your whip, okay? So you trying to impress a girl in a car, it's kind of been and gone. Do you know what I mean? And also, I've got a missus, I've got a fiance. I don't need to drive around JBR wasting my time trying to flex and look like I'm trying to pick up some girls or whatever it might be. You know, I've been there and done it. Okay, and once you've done it, and for me, once I've done something once, it's cool. Cool, I've done it. I've got my little like dopamine hit from it, and I don't really realistically need it again. It's the same with beach clubs. Do you know what I mean? I have this conversation with my fiance all the time because she has a day off on a Saturday. She might want to go to a beach club and this, that, and the other. I don't want to, because in my eyes, a beach club is a single person's thing to do. You know, there's very, very rare that you get couples there, and if you do, again, it's tourists, it's couples from a different country visiting Dubai that want to go and sit in a beach club and have that experience, because it's not something that they can get in the country that they live in. Okay, I live here, have done for the last year and a bit. I've done beach clubs, I've done Cove, I've done Five, I've done, you know, we used to sit, me and Harrison, at a beach club pretty much every day for work, be it Train Beach. You know, they had the gym, they had the nice food, there was pools, there was the beach, so it was technically a beach club. They had a ladies' day on a Tuesday there, so it was always filled with like loads of girls and shit. But it was work. For me, it was work. It was, right, go there, zone in, laptop up, boom. Most of you, you know, will remember the posts that I used to put on my social media on Instagram, and it was always me at that table with my laptop, view, sun just coming up or whatever it might be. That was the day-to-day routine. And, you know, before that, we'd been to Cove Beach, we'd been to Fire Palm and all this sort of stuff. And guys, when I tell you, it gets so repetitive and you just see the same idiots in there doing the same shit, you know, trying to flex, spending their yearly salary on looking like a G for a couple of days and then going back to the UK and having to rework and get all of that money back. It's a dead investment. Do you know what I mean? And most of the people that go to these beach clubs, they're all English. I don't want to be surrounded by the people that the reason why I left the country in the first place. Like, I'm not a people person. I like talking to people that are interested in the same things as me, but I can't connect with guys that just have this stupid mindset of, you know, realistically wanting to be in the top 1%, but not doing anything to actually get there, or flexing to try and show that they are in that area, but not. Do you know what I mean? So beach clubs became very, very samey, and now I haven't been to a beach club in the last 5-6 months because it just doesn't interest me at all. So cars, dead investment in my eyes. Okay. If you guys are on funded accounts, and this is what I said in the funded account video, funded accounts should be using that money, those payouts, to fund a live account. Okay, if you are getting 3-4k payouts from your funded accounts, and I go by this because some of the guys in the group are on funded accounts and they've had those types of payouts, then you should be using that money to fund a live account, because funded accounts and prop firms, all these prop firms and stuff, they're not going to be around for as long as you think. Okay, I give some of these prop firms, because they're already shutting down, I'm pretty sure another one has just terminated, I give it to the end of the year, end of this year, and you know, these prop firms that are giving you good types of, you know, HFT bots and all this sort of stuff, the real ones like FTMO, they will be around. I mean, they have been around for pretty much the duration of time that I've been in the market, so about 6 years. And before that, I think FTMO have been going for a while. So places like FTMO, or prop firms like FTMO, they will probably stay around because they have gone through the trials and tribulations to be certified. Okay, that's why they don't allow, you know, their phase 1 and phase 2 to be passed by bots. You know, there is a reason why FTMO don't allow these things, because they want real traders. They want guys that actually know what they're doing prior to buying one of their funded accounts. But then when you are making money in that funded account, you should be withdrawing it and, you know, maybe put 75% into a live and use the other 25% to do something else with. I don't know, you know, maybe, like I said, another online source of income. That is what you should be using your funded accounts for. Because if that funded account or that prop firm goes and shuts down in 6 months and all you've been doing is spunking that payout up the wall, then now you've got nothing for it. You've got nothing to show for it. So that's why I always say, take your money that you are making in the markets and split it into, you know, different things. Put it into different things. Like I've said, online sources. Start building up, and this is where I say it's hard for you guys in the UK, because I mean, I don't know how things have drastically changed, which they have done since I left. You know, things were already expensive when I was living there. And I compare that to where I'm at now and what I was paying back in the UK. And it's cheaper for me to live in Dubai than it is to live in the UK and the circumstances that I was living in. And they weren't great. I mean, when I left Dubai, I left a two-bedroom council house or flat above a fucking one-stop in Winnell in Winchester, surrounded by every fucking single mother in Winchester and noisy, like, old people with their dogs that used to wake me up at fucking 7 a.m. in the morning, and I was paying close to £1,800–1,900 a month. I paid like a less when I moved over here, and even when I came back from Thailand with my missus and I needed just to find somewhere to quickly move into. I don't know if some of you guys remember the studio that I moved into in JVC. That was lovely. Like it's all dependent on what your kind of necessities and needs are. Like, I was happy in my studio apartment. Lovely, like, quiet area. The pool was amazing, like, very, very nice, very, very, like, luxury looking. Even the studio apartment was luxury looking, very modern, and I was paying £1,200 a month, and that was everything included. Bills, you know, Wi-Fi, obviously the rents, you know, being able to use the facilities, and that was a gym, a pool, all this sort of stuff, and that was £1,200 a month. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't expensive. But what I'm saying is, you know, you need to look at the realistic, you know, price factor of what you're looking to live life. Everybody, and I say everybody because it's why people are getting into trading, everybody is looking to live that luxury lifestyle. And I'm saying that luxury lifestyle comes way, way down the line. Like, you are not going to have that luxury lifestyle in 6 months to a year. It's just not possible. But within that time, 6 months to a year, if all you are doing is compounding your money up in your account, then realistically, the more consistent you come, the more profits you're making, because you've got more equity to your disposal. Now, like I said, these are just my personal opinions on what you should be doing with your profits that you are making. And, you know, you need to be putting stuff into safer stuff, like safer things. You know, cryptos, I wouldn't even say cryptos are that safe. You know, I trade them or I put money into them, but that's just based on somebody else telling me, like, what's good, what's going to go up by 10x or whatever it might be. So far they have, but as soon as they've gone up that much, boom, I'm out. You know, Bitcoin, same as that. I don't know why everybody's jumping into Bitcoin to buy it right now. I don't personally think that it's ready to fly to the fucking moon. I think there's still going to be a retracement back down to around 30k, which is when I would be happy to put some money in. So cryptos, again, wouldn't be something that I would be looking to invest your money into. Safer things. Now, property, like I said, is probably the safer option. If you say you go and make 20k, okay, you've made 20k from your profits or your funded account or whatever. In some areas of the UK, that's a half decent deposit, you know, a half decent deposit to put down, and then you do the whole cycle. You know, there's lots of guys that teach you how to get into property and then flip it or whatever it might be, or get it to a point where you then you know, refinance it and put that money into another property, and you just keep doing that and doing it. That's it. That, to me, it seems like a good thing. Yes, you are going to need to invest some money to potentially do the property up, but you're getting that money back. Do you know what I mean? It's a safer bet. Do you know what I mean? So that to me is probably one of the best things that everybody can do. Obviously, if you've gone and strung up a load of debt and you've got a bad credit score, then it might be a little bit tough. But a lot of you guys are very, very young. When I say very, very young, you're like a decade or so younger than me. I'd say a lot of you shouldn't have bad credit scores. Do you know what I mean? So you should be able to do this sort of thing. But I'm not the person to teach it. You know, there's probably lots of people on that or online or on YouTube that be able to teach you like what the actual step-by-step process is to get involved into that sort of thing. But that to me is probably one of the best things that I've seen floating around social media for people to replicate, to get involved in. So, and even over here, I'd be looking to put some money into a property and, you know, paying it off and blah, blah, blah. And then, I don't know, renting it out on Airbnb. You know, I've seen some guys on social media that make 60, 70k a month from Airbnbs that they rent out. Yes, they're probably in prime locations, and yes, they probably dip out a little bit when it's, you know, winter or something like that, but people are always going to need somewhere to stay, maybe for a couple of days or whatever it might be. You know, for me, if I was coming back to the UK, I'm looking at an Airbnb. I'm not probably looking at a hotel, because the areas of the UK that I need to go and visit, they're not in prime city locations. So I'd be looking for an Airbnb. You know, Airbnb stuff, that's good, but you're going to need a property to do so. But you know, there's loads of things that, you know, even if you come up with an business idea that nobody's ever thought about, use money from this to kick that off. Do you know what I mean? It might fail, but at least you've tried. Do you know what I mean? So there's things like that you should be doing stuff with your profit money that you're making. But the other thing is, you know, a lot of people pretty much, I must have heard the statement of, I'll see you in Dubai in a few months' time. Okay, cool. I hope, you know, you do, but that is going to need some of your profits that you are making. So if you are looking to move to another country, saving this money that you are making in the markets, putting it aside, going, right, okay, well, that's my month of rent that I'm going to need to potentially go over to Dubai for a month. Because, you know, unless you are looking to actually set up a business and get a residency here, you're going to need a business set up. You're only going to be allowed to stay in the country for about 40 odd days, I think, before you actually have to leave, then come back. So, you know, if you're looking to do that, then put some money aside. The moral of the story is there's no real preference when it comes to what you should be spending your money on. But like I've said, not cars. Cars are dead investments. Unless you are buying something that is a collector's item, you're not going to be making money on it. When you go to sell it, you've lost money. And the reason why I use this is, you know, the best example that I've got is I was the person on Harrison's shoulder telling him not to buy the Eurus. You know, we'd made that money through the month of February and March, and, you know, I said to him, bro, I put it into Bitcoin. Like, Bitcoin was low. I think it was in the like low 20s maybe, or 30s. And I said to him, look, I personally think putting it into Bitcoin would be better because you'll make some good money on it. You know, it was a big, I think it was about 350k that we'd made over that course of that February, March. But he had somebody else on his shoulder telling him, oh yeah, you should buy the Eurus because the Eurus will do this, the Eurus, think about the girls, think about this. And I said, bro, and unless you've got a spare, you know, 350k or 330k, then, you know, buying a car is just a dead investment. And that's what it became, because he used it, yeah, maybe for 2-3 months. He then sold it at a loss, and, you know, that he sits there and regrets buying it in the first place. And I said to him, bro, I said to you from day dot, not a good idea. Do you know what I mean? The content and stuff that you needed to get from having a car, you could have just rented one for a week and it would have cost you less. Do you know what I mean? If you just needed it for content and, you know, picking up girls, you could have rented one for a lot less and you could have used that money in a lot better way. But it's lessons learned. Or if you were looking to buy it, finance it. Because then at least, you know, you might have only spent a little bit, and then you can do you know what, I'll sell it back to the place that I bought it, and I'll be out at break even-ish. Cars, dead investments. Holidays, look, I'm a big experience person. I actually prefer spending money on a nice holiday, a nice experience, because that experience will stay with you. Regardless if you're doing it with someone that you might break up with in a year's time, you've still gone to that place and experienced it. Yes, you're not getting anything money-wise back from it, but you're getting something that will always stay with you forever. So, I mean, if there is a country that you've wanted to visit for your whole existence, then use some of your trading profits to go there. Do you know what I mean? Like, that to me is much more valuable than just going to Ibiza and acting like a G for a week. Like, I'm sure everyone's got somewhere that they'd love to just go and experience and blah, blah, blah. You know, there's still things on my bucket list. Even though I don't actually like going away on holiday, when I am there, I do enjoy it. It is an experience. You know, last year, since actually making decent money, it's the first time that I've been away so much. But prior to that, it had been 11 years since I'd had an actual holiday. And that seems mad, but it's because I I couldn't afford to. I couldn't afford to go away. I couldn't afford to go to these places that I wanted to go to. But last year, I did have that disposable income that I could go to Thailand. You know, I went to Thailand twice. Greece, Spain. We were looking to go to the Maldives, but it just wasn't the season. And, you know, so this year is probably what I'm going to be doing, you know, Maldives, stuff like that. These are places that I just thought I would never be able to experience because I've never had the money to. So yeah, holidays for the experience. Good investment for the experience, if that is what you're going for. Equipment. If you are, you know, needing to pay a monthly subscription for TradingView, that's what you should be using your profits for. Do you know what I mean? Paying for things that could essentially free you up a little bit of, you know, 9 to 5 money, your bread and butter money. Because, you know, if any of you are looking to do this for the long haul and actually make it your full-time income, it needs to get to a point where you are making your 9 to 5 money consistently from trading. So your trading money can then consistently cover your outgoings without the pressure. So yeah, anything equipment wise, maybe it's a new computer, maybe it's a new monitor, maybe it's a camera because you want to do YouTube videos or you want to document your stuff, blah, blah, blah. Everything that I've got in front of me right now has been bought from trading money. Got a spanking new fucking computer that's like top of the top. Yeah, I put a little bit of profits into that. Like, people go, oh, do you ever withdraw, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I'll withdraw it for things that I feel like can upscale what I need to do. Faster computer means I can do streaming, I can do, you know, better content, I can have multiple things all running at the same time. The shitty computer that I bought off of Amazon just wasn't really cutting it. So I spent a bit of money, withdraw a bit of money, put it into a nice computer. That's gonna last me 10, 11 years, probably, maybe with a few extra modifications. So it's a good investment because it means that I'm covered. You know, laptop. If you need a laptop because you feel like you're always on the go, I invested some of my profits into multiple laptops when I first started out. I bought a second-hand MacBook and then used some profits to upgrade the RAM, so the RAM was a bit quicker. Then further on down the line, I used some profits to buy a brand new, I think it was 2022 MacBook, brand new one. I went all the way up to London and bought it off some guy that his dad worked for some business, so he'd got fucking however many laptops for the business, had a few extra and was selling them off. Bought that for 2 or 3 grand. So, you know, all of this sort of stuff you should be using your trading money from, you know, because it is investing into something that is going to hopefully last a while for you to use to emphasize your trading. Not that it's going to potentially make you more money, but it's making it more free for you to be able to go here, there and everywhere, sit in a coffee shop, have your chart work up or stuff like that. You know, this is where I'm saying to you, it's personal preference. Everyone is going to know what is going to benefit them. I know what benefits me. I know what I need in my life, and it's not a lot. I think, you know, for me, the saying has always been, if you've never had a lot, then it doesn't take much for you to be happy. Do you know what I mean? Because you're not used to having loads of different things. You know, you're not used to having fancy cars. You're not used to having fancy living circumstances. You know, you're used to having quite basic, you know, normal day-to-day stuff. That is me. I've realized in the last year that doing all these fancy things, it don't make me happy. Do you know what I mean? Going to fancy restaurants, it's just the same shit in a different place. Yes, it might taste a little bit nicer, but all I'm really doing is satisfying my taste buds. Great. Do you know what I mean? I'm paying to satisfy my taste buds. I put on a lot of weight because I'm eating in these high calorie fancy restaurants and blah, blah, blah. And my normal day-to-day doings are sat in front of two screens and looking at charts, so I'm not burning any of that off. Yes, I go to the gym with my missus, but, you know, it's not the same. It's not the same. You know, once you've done all these things, they just become samey, and they become dead investments, and you become bored doing them. Like, I will be happy when I've got the house that I want, and that is it. And being able to go to, you know, different places. But then again, once you've gone and done all these places, as in like holidays and stuff, that will become samey. Do you know what I mean? So it's like you're stuck between a rock and a hard place, because, you know, you're making this money to be able to do this sort of stuff, but once you've done it, you know, realistically, you're not going to get that same dopamine hit from doing it again. You know, the only thing that I feel like is the biggest factor that makes me feel happy is knowing that just normal stuff, you know, paying for things in a grocery shop, or going to a mall and actually walking into a place and buying something like a t-shirt or whatever, or a pair of trainers or whatever it might be, you're not having to worry about it. That is the only thing that I'd say in the last year has been the thing that makes me the most happiest. Do you know what I mean? Knowing that I can freely buy stuff, and I'm not talking about 10 grand watches and all this sort of shit, just normal stuff. Stuff that used to, you know, weigh down on me back in the UK. You know, stuff that you used to go into a shop and go, right, I've literally got about 30, 40 quid budget to get my weekly shop. That sort of stuff, if you know that you can go into a grocery store and spend 70 quid and it not actually affect you or not affect your bank balance, because you're used to seeing that type of money coming in quite frequently, that will be the thing that makes everyone level up, in my eyes, okay? And like I said, that only scales. Do you know what I mean? Maybe in 6 months' time, spending 20 grand on a watch won't affect me. But again, I've never really been into watches, so I see 20 grand being put into a watch as a dead investment. Maybe because it's something that I don't enjoy. I don't look at a watch and think, God, that's fucking sexy. It doesn't make me interested in watches. That's just my personal opinion. You know, maybe motorbikes. I love motorbikes. Always have done. Used to ride motorbikes back in the UK. I'm not allowed to ride one over here. My fiance just won't let me. But then she has good reasoning for that, because Dubai drivers are very, very erratic. And I would probably have my life ended very quickly. But motorbikes, you know, my dream was always to buy a KTM Super Duke R. Certain year, I think it was like 2019, 2020, that model. I still might buy it and just look at it. But, you know, motorbike, I get enjoyment out of motorbikes. And realistically, you don't lose a lot on a motorbike, I don't know why. But, you know, a motorbike is something that I get enjoyment out of. Cars, so-so. But motorbikes is more. But yeah, it's you know, at the end of the day, it's all down to what makes you happy. Everyone is different. Everybody gets their happiness from other factors. But like I said, the biggest thing that has made me happy is knowing that, you know, I can pay for things and things go out of my account. You know, maybe it might be my missus that's ordering some stuff or whatever, and it's covered. Do you know what I mean? Like, she doesn't have to worry about money. She doesn't have to worry about, and she's not, don't get me wrong, she don't go out and spend ridiculous money, but knowing that she can just, you know, we sit here, I've ordered my food, she'll use my Kareem account to order her food, you know, that's paid for, blah, blah, blah. She's living in a place that she doesn't have to pay for. You know, we get cleaners come and do this and blah, 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 all that sort of stuff. Like, she isn't having to worry about bills, you know, all that sort of factor. That right there should be the thing that you are looking towards. Do you know what I mean? So that's the first stage. Fuck the cars, fuck the, you know, going to Ibiza looking like a G for 2 weeks or whatever it might be. That stuff second, way down the line. Do you know what I mean? Bills and day-to-day spendings, if you can make that type of money in the markets, in my eyes, you've leveled up massively. So yeah, I mean, look, that's what I would do when it comes to trading profits. I know I've waffled on for a good 38 minutes. I know some of you guys probably won't last that long, but hopefully most of you will. But that's what I would do. That's what I have done. And, you know, take it from my experience, having the cars and doing the beach clubs, going to places like Ibiza and all that sort of stuff. It don't last. It don't last in my eyes like that, but that's just me. That may be an age thing. But yeah, anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Drop it a thumbs up. I've got already a few other videos that I will be doing. Please drop some other ones. And like I said, they don't have to be trading related. Do you know what I mean? They don't have to be trading and market related. They can be anything to do with, I don't know, maybe it's relationships, maybe it's women. I'd love to talk about relationships and women and stuff like that, because I feel like I've got a lot of experience and how you should actually be, you know, looking at a potential partner and, you know, the ground rules and stuff. But that's, you know, another video that we could do. But yeah, take care guys, and I will see you in the next one.